10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Nizcast. I of course am your host Niz, and we are picking up on our coverage of the open qualifiers for the Americas region, or of course the International 6. So we're in day 2 of open qualifier number 1. And we start off in the round of 16, and we have some pretty good teams left. Of course, we've got Evil Geniuses still left alive. Shazam also. I believe they're actually playing each other in round of 16, so that's probably going to be an exciting match. But we've got Evil Geniuses, Shazam, Exodus, which used to be known as Enemy GG. They just renamed themselves. Team Lucchini, Pain Gaming, Evernova, Perky Pepperonis, Unknown, Veggie Esports, which is of course is that team with Merlini Black, Blitz, Capitalist, and Fogged. So they're always fun, and they actually, I always find it really interesting for especially players or viewers, I guess, who have never played competitive. I recommend just to hop into one of their streams, maybe go back and check the VODs from one of their previous matches, and just listen to the voice comms while they're playing the game. And it is just awesome for someone who's never played competitive to watch and listen and understand the comms and understand what's going on, what everyone is talking about in the game. Because if you definitely haven't played competitive, there's a lot to learn there. I have the advantage of previously having competitive experience, of course, in Dota, but also in many other games as well. So I understand that layer. But if you haven't, I definitely suggest going in and checking it out. I'm still gonna go check it out because it's always fun to listen to that stuff, anyways. But yeah, we've got Veggie Esports, EG Bulba, which is a Ritsu stack with Yawar, Boris, Kitrak, and Jubei. Really good stack as well. We've got Rich and Pretty, which we always see Frempo in the chat. He's always ragging on me for never casting his games, but they're still alive in the tournament. Maybe we'll be able to cast one of the games. I still love you, Frempo. Then we've got, of course, NoT Today, which is going to be in our match here. We've got TLC Gaming, Cucks for Life, which is Mason and IX Mike and Ush and those guys. And then we've got Soggy and GR. So really stacked list of teams left alive in the tournaments, and we can only hope that the games are going to be half as good, if not better, than that list of teams. As we're going to be covering Soggy versus NoT Today in this round of 16 match, and it's going to be a good one. Of course, Europe, they're in the grand finals right now. Secret 1 game away from earning their spot, which I think a lot of people expected. A lot of people also expect EG to go through and win their first qualifier as well, but Secret had a pretty big scare yesterday, and you never know. It can happen to EG as well. They can get knocked off. There's, like I said, there's some really talented teams. And I just tweeted out a link to this Reddit thread that actually goes over all the teams and shows the MMR for all the players on the teams. And you'd be surprised how many of these teams have comparable, if not higher, MMRs than EG on their players. So they're definitely very talented teams. And if they're able to just kind of get that coordination down, they could very easily knock off a team of EG's caliber. And today we're going to find out who's going to be the first team to advance out of the open qualifiers. But let's go through the draft. As we'll start with Soggy, as they banned out the Earth Spirit and the Death Prophet, and NoT Today banned out the Beastmaster and the Bounty Hunter. Onto the picks, we had a first pick Faceless Void, followed by an Invoker for Soggy, and NoT Today picked up the Phoenix and the Slardar. On to our second round of bans. Elder Titan and Ricky were the bans for Not Today. Soggy has banned out the Alchemist, as we've seen this resurgence of Alchemist coming back, and we're starting to see him get a lot of play. We saw him in a couple matches yesterday, and thank you, Soggy banning out the Tinker. I am a big hater on Tinker. If there's one hero in all of Dota I do not want to see, it is Tinker. I know he can make some exciting games at times, but he can also make for some very, very boring games as well. But Tinker going to get banned out, so we're not going to see him here today. We're not going to have a Resident Sleeper fest. But who's Not Today going to pick up? They've already got their Phoenix and their Slaughter. Typically we see Slaughter run in the off lane, although teams sometimes will slide that into the safe lane and pick up a different off laner. Phoenix primarily plays that position 4 on the team. Eventual Spirit now getting picked up by them as well. We expect that to be the position 5, kind of sitting in the safe lane, protecting whatever their safe lane carry is going to be, whether it is that Slaughter or if they're going to pick up a different one. I'm expecting they probably will pick up a different one. Of course, there is the off chance Slaughter safe lane and then Phoenix is off lane, but I don't really think we're going to see that happening. As for Soggy, Faceless Void, we've started to see him seeing a little bit of play in the safe lane, but primarily he's still played in the off lane, something that we see quite often, and we expect to see it here as well. Invoker in the mid lane, and Timbersaw, another hero that we're starting to see more of, as people just kind of, I don't know if it's fair to say redesign the way that they played the hero, but everyone's now maxing reactive armor first, and Timbersaw just found a nice spot for himself in the game right now, and I think part of that is because we have such a strength-heavy meta, where Timbersaw is just, he's able to be Timbersaw. He's able to start the snowball going and just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he becomes more and more difficult to deal with, especially if he has a really strong early game. So if a team struggles dealing with the Timbersaw early, he can be probably one of the strongest heroes in the game. So definitely look out for that. Next two picks are in Puck and Skywrath Mage. Puck's going to be the mid laner for Not Today. Skywrath Mage going to be one of the two supports for Soggy. We're still waiting on them to pick up their final support, as I didn't cover it, but we expect that Timbersaw probably to be safe lane, but they do have the option to say, okay, we'll put the Timbersaw mid and we'll put our Invoker safe lane, depending on what you pick to counter our mid hero. But we see it's a Puck now, so I don't think the Invoker has too much to be worried about going up against the Puck, that they absolutely need to put the Timber there instead. So I expect that Timbersaw to probably be safe lane. Final two bans are in. Lion gets removed by Not Today, and Lifestealer gets removed by Soggy, as Not Today already has that, well, a couple actually, Lifestealer delivery services. We've got Puck, which is great at just being able to blink in. He gets the silence off on the hero, as well as Lifestealer jumps out, open wounds them, and then they're just pretty much dead and they can't really do anything. Slardar, same kind of deal. Once he gets his blink dagger, blink in, crush, Lifestealer jumps out, and even Phoenix can do it with an Icarus dive if they absolutely need to. So the good ban there on the Lifestealer, making sure that they don't have access to that. We'll see which hero they're going to go with instead. And Soggy going to go with the Axe as their support. So it's going to be a position 4 Axe in the jungle. Skywrath Mage babysitting the safe laner, which we expect to be Timbersaw. But I guess there is an off chance it could be Faceless Void, but we do expect it to be Timbersaw. Invoker's going to be in the mid lane, and Faceless Void in the off lane. Not today. Who are they going to pick for their safe laner? Who's it going to be? They still have 30 seconds reserve time, so they don't have to rush. But they're going to pick it immediately. It's going to be Ursa. Ursa, one of these heroes that can actually just chew through Axe's HP and makes that position 4 Axe not really as scary as he can be in other games. And he can also somewhat chew through a Timbersaw, but mainly he'll be able just to blow up the Invoker and the Faceless Void. Faceless Void actually dies very, very quickly, especially these offlane Faceless Voids that we see. They die very, very, very quickly to an Ursa. So that's one thing that Soggy is really going to have to look out for. And just waiting for all the teams, or all the players, to choose their heroes. And we'll jump right on into it. As a reminder, guys, this is a round of 16. We're still in the best of ones. So whichever team loses this, that's it. They're done for qualifier number 1. They're going to have to start again with a new try on tomorrow, where we do it all over again. I'm not sure if we're going to still see the same 900 and whatever teams we had. We'll probably have a lower turnout, but you never know. Either way, we're into the game, so let's introduce our teams and our players. This will bring up the items. On our Radiant side, it's going to be NoT today. We've got Benjaz playing the Ursa. Matthew is playing the Phoenix, all the way up here in the top lane. We've got Leo Style playing the Puck. Stiaya returns. Probably just going to go with Slardar on that one. Probably easier just to not call him by the name that he's appearing by in game. But Nightmare is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit as well. As good luck, it's dropped in chat. As we jump onto our Dire side, which we've got Soggy Mitts. We've cast them a bunch in SCS recently, and we're going to get to cast them here again. We've got Futzy playing the Skywrath Mage. Yun is going to be playing the Timbersaw. God's Hand is going to be on the Invoker. Sparky the Sharky, a name I absolutely love to say. He's going to be on the Axe. And Zephyros is going to be playing the Faceless Void. And I always forget to do it every time I open Dota, so I'm going to have to do it quickly here. As I just have to... Oops. What am I doing? I always forget to exec my casting config, so things were not working as they should have at the start there. But everything's fixed just in time for the horn. As we get started here, we do have a smoke on the Skywrath Mage, so that's the only thing really too noteworthy, I guess, from the start. But God's Hand going to pick up the top rune, but immediately going to get stunned up by that Slardar. Style was able to pick up the bottom one, so both mid laners picking up their bounty runes. Sparky the Sharky and God's Hand taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too much to be worried about, as we get a brief pause here from Benjaz. He's going to just quickly reconnect, and hopefully he'll be able to get back in the game, unpause, and not mess up his block, as it's always a pain whenever you come out of a pause in your mid block. And we'll see if Yun's going to be able to maintain his block as well. A bunch of pinks coming out from Yun, indicating that maybe they're going to come and block this camp. We have to be wary of that. But we already do see a couple, actually 2 observer wards out from both teams, as we got a pretty forward observer ward from NoT today. It's also blocking up the camp. We've got a lane ward from Soggy Mitts. As we resume and jump back into the action here, did Benjaz pick up his block? He did. And what about Yun? They both managed to maintain their blocks through the pause, so good job there. But we've got 2 observer wards in the bottom lane as well, with Soggy Mitts having one to spotting that area off to the left-hand side of the lane, and NoT today having a lane ward, but one a little bit more further back than we typically see. We like to see them a little bit further up. Gives you a little bit more information on what that offlaner is doing. It's really important to zone out the Timbersaw and try to delay his level 2. It's similar to Darkseer, where we want to delay his level 2 so that he doesn't have access to both Ion Shell and Surge. Timbersaw is the same way. He wants to get reactive armor, but of course you want to deny his ability to get Timber Chain, as Matthew taking a bunch of damage in the top lane. But look at this, Yun doesn't really have too much to worry about from this Vengeful Spirit. He's just going to take the harass, and he's about to hit level 2, so not able to really zone out that Timbersaw. And Sparky the Sharky continuing to do a little bit of jungling there. Let's take a quick look at our lanes, as we got a Slardar and Phoenix duo offlane going up against the Faceless Void and the Skywrath Mage, as we see Sparky the Sharky just killed himself to the neutrals. In the mid lane, it's going to be Puck going up against Invoker. And in the bottom lane, we're already kind of looking at it, but it's offlane Timbersaw going up against safe lane farming Ursa, and the Vengeful Spirit as Yun gets stunned up, but he is already level 2, so he's able to Timber Chain away. Doesn't really have too much to worry about, but Futzy has something to be worried about, because he's getting chased down right now by the Slardar, 130 HP, but now Slardar is going to have to turn around, because Zephyros is starting to attack him. He's going to time walk over top of him. The stun's going to come out from the Slardar, and First Blood's going to be spilled. Futzy getting the last hit there with the Arcane Bolt. Arcane Bolt, I always mess this one up. I got it right this time. As Zephyros getting very, very low, Matthew's going to Icarus dive on in and finish that off with one last right click. So we are evened up at 1 kill apiece, but Soggy Mitts may be able to secure another one here, but Futzy has to be careful because the Slardar just TP'd back in. Now he's going to get a crush off onto Futzy, and they didn't manage to get the kill onto Matthew, as the Battle Hunger just barely wears off. So NoT today takes the lead in terms of hero kills in this game, 2-1. Quickly jump into our mid lane, see how things are going. God's Hand sitting at 10-2, and we've got Leo Style sitting at 14-3. So advantage to the puck, and this is typically what we see in this matchup. Puck always seems to get an advantage in the early levels, but as we get a little bit later on into the lane, closer to maybe level 6 and a little bit thereafter, that's when we really see the Invoker kind of get back into the lane in terms of last hits. So look to see God's Hand maybe catch up, but for now, Leo Style off to an early lead. benjaz is actually our top farmer right now at 19-7 on the Ursa Bear. Of course, we saw a ton of action in the top lane where Zephyros had didn't really have the opportunity to go for last hits because he was involved in some kills, as he's sitting at 16-3, so not really that far behind, but he is 0-1-1. But he's smoked up, looking to jump on the mid lane as, the tornado's going to come in from God's Hand, but it's going to be off the mark. They may still be able to get the kill here as AMP is going to come in. Leo Style tosses his orb and jaunts away as Futsy's going to go for the kill. But there's bottle charges left here for the puck. He even has a Fairy Fire as well, so Futsy taking a bunch of maybe unnecessary hits from the tower there, as Leo Style really wasn't that close to going down, as he's going to orb to the top rune to get to pick it up. It's just a bounty room. We've got double damage spawned in the bottom location. No one rotating to pick that up just yet. Meanwhile, Yun, level 4.5 right now. Let's take a look at our slaughters. Pretty much the same. Of course, Matthew's been up here, so he's level 3.5. So he's going to have, I'd say, a little bit of an XP advantage, but you have to keep in mind that Soggy Mitts has the Jungle Axe, who's about to hit level 5. So really the XP advantage is going the way of Soggy Mitts. This Yun trying to mess with the pole here off to the side. Getting stunned up and taking a little bit of damage there from the Ursa. Sparky the Sharky going to TP down to the bottom lane and join in on the fun as he's going to toss out a Battle Hunger onto the Ursa. And with benjaz already around half HP, that Battle Hunger is actually going to get full value because he's not able to step up and get a last hit on the creeps to clear that Battle Hunger with Yun and Sparky the Sharky here. So another Battle Hunger is going to go out onto Nightmares. We've got another TP coming in from Matthew on the Phoenix, and now going to go with a tri-lane setup in the bottom lanes. They're going to briefly stun up Sparky the Sharky with the magic missile as he once again turns around Battle Hunger Harass. That's a level 3 Battle Hunger. He's maxing it over anything else as I miss a very important kill in the mid lane. God's Hand getting the kill on the Leo Style. Looks like Futsy had a hand in that as well. Maybe used to smoke? I guess the show fight recap won't show that for us. But we saw him go for that kill earlier, which was, it was pretty close to being a kill. It actually started with that miss on the tornado. Had that landed, they probably would have been able to secure the kill on the puck. But they managed to get it this time around. So we're evened up, 2 kills apiece. As they wait for the top rune, 6 minutes. There's a dive in the bottom. I'm sitting here taking a drink of water while I'm waiting for the rune to spawn. But Sparky the Sharky gets a kill onto benjaz. As this was a great rotation from Soggy Mitts, rotating the axe down here to put pressure on the Ursa. And oh, nice little juking through the trees. He's 1 hit from dead. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get in range. Icarus dives on cooldown. We've got a kill in another lane as God's Hand gets a kill onto the Slardar. But the Sunbeam's going to come in from Matthew. He doesn't know where Sparky the Sharky is and he can't find him. And Yun's doing a ton of damage to him. Timber Chain's going to get the kill as the Phoenix falls. But benjaz, he wants to get a return kill here as he's going to chase after Yun. And Yun will go down. So it's a 1-for-1. But I don't know how the heck Sparky the Sharky managed to survive there. And some great juking through the trees. He ate 2 trees to go through that little gap. And it was just enough to escape that extra last hit that would have been coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. Like I said, there was another kill where God's Hand scored a kill onto the Slaughter. Of course, we missed that, but there was plenty of action going on in one of the other lanes, so I guess I should be forgiven. No teach or spam, please. We got a 3-man smoke because they've actually split up. Futsy's heading down the mid lane, and we've got Yun and Sparky the Sharky in the bottom. God's Hand in some trouble up at the top rune location. Looks like he's going to go down as Leo Style get the last hit as they're going to jump on benjaz in the bottom. as he's already below half HP. And once again, Battle Hunger doing some work. Timber Chain gonna get Yun a little bit closer, but they're not gonna I was gonna say they're not gonna dive the tower, but they definitely are. Yun gonna jump on in, gets the kill with the Chakram, but Leo style TP's in, gets a return kill. That was one of those questionable moments where you see the TP coming in from the puck. Do you go for it? They decided it was worth. Unfortunately, they ended up losing the Timber Saw, but they might still think that's worth, because we're going to lose the Axe. Leo style operating on very, very low HP is going to trade his life with Futzy. So in the end, it's an advantage for NoT today, as they get 3 kills to 2. But there was just a solo kill in the top lane as Slaughter managed to drop Zephyros. So that further makes an advantage for NoT today. Is that well, not something you typically see in these higher level games where you've got a solo kill in the laning phase. As the amp damage goes out onto Yun. But Futzy and Sparky the Sharky gonna wrap around here, and Slardar's in a whole lot of trouble. We're gonna have a TP coming in from Zephyros. It's gonna be a 4-man gank on this poor Slardar as he's running away from his base. But he's dead now. We're all evened up at 8 kills apiece as we just passed the 8-minute mark, as we're actually about to hit the 9-minute mark. We've got a grouping here from NoT today in the mid lane. 4 heroes here trying to get a push on this tier 1 tower. See if Soggy Mitz tries to come back and defend, or if they're just going to leave their heroes up in the top and go for a trade of that tier 1 tower. Icarus dive in from Matthew as God's Hand might get punished for his greedy positioning here. Hiding in the trees, trying to get a deny on the tower, or just trying to get some chip damage, but NoT today, not going to let that happen. And they jump in, get the kill on the Invoker. But the top tier 1 already down to half HP. They've already used the glyph, and Slaughter has TP'd in. Zephyros, once again, we just saw NoT today do this in the mid lane. Now Soggy Mitz doing it in the top lane, jumping in. There's one hero just kind of sitting there by himself. They jump in, try to get the kill. This time they actually miss it, and they don't get the kill on the Slaughter. But the mid tier 1 gets claimed by NoT today, and we're about to see the top tier 1 go down. Drew my X a little bit earlier there, but Zephyros getting the last hit. So we will have a trade of tier 1 towers. As we hit the 10-minute mark, and that means we can jump on over to our net worth and see that our top 3 are all on the side of NoT today, with Benjaz leading the way at 4.2k. Then it's Leo Style 3.4, and I guess it's not all NoT today leading the way, as we've also we've got God's Hand just kind of stuck himself in the middle of that top 3, as he's sitting at 3.4k, pretty much tied dead even with the Slardar. Then it's the Timber Saw and the Faceless Void, not that far behind either. 3.4 on the Timber, 3.2 on the Faceless Void. As Benjaz is found an Invis Rune, is going to go for a gank here onto God's Hand. Playing it really patiently here. There was a bunch of sentry wards in the mid, but they're all belonging to NoT today. He's just stalking God's Hand here, and he's got a lot of time still left on his Viz Rune. Is God's Hand going to check Roche, see if the Ursa is there? They know he's not on the map. They think maybe he's at Roche, but little do they know he's stalking them with an Invis Rune. As they're going to try to jump onto the Slaughter, they don't know that Benjaz is there. He's going to open up onto God's Hand, who immediately drops into the QQ walk, but he loses half of his HP pool. As Nightmare comes on in, but he doesn't have any sentry wards, so God's Hand will be perfectly fine to walk on out of here. And I don't know how it happened, but we ended up with 0 kills there when it was all said and done. It did mean a little bit of free space for a couple of heroes on the side of Soggy Mitz. Sparky the Sharky had a little space in the mid lane, and Zephyros had some space in the top lane as he's about to finish his Vlads. But we've got a push here coming from NoT today, devoting a full, oh actually just 4 heroes, not full 5. Excuse me, the Phoenix is still sitting in the mid lane. But Soggy Mitz has shown up in numbers to defend that tier 1 tower. They're not going to let it go lightly. And with that, NoT today just backs away. Now we've got Zephyros just farming in the bottom lane. He's got a few heroes on his team smoked up behind him. It's Futzy and Yun. They're starting to make a rotation towards mid. They've got God's Hand coming and joining them. This big pickup as the Blink Dagger just gets picked up by the Slaughter. And the Soggy Mitz rotation may have caught that Slaughter, but good game sense from him as he rotates out of there. Doesn't wait to finish his camp. And just goes right back to Fountain. Not going to risk anything, especially after just picking up his Blink Dagger. He wants to get up to full HP, TP somewhere, and get a gank with that. But all those rotations left Zephyros in the bottom lane as the tier 1 tower goes down, and now NoT Today going to go for a tier 1 tower of their own, but they've got a full HP tower to go through. The question is, will Soggy Mitts come back and try and defend this? They don't really have TPs up on anyone, so it'll be a long run for them to make it all the way up there to the top lane, and the tower's already down at half HP, so it doesn't look like they're going to make it in time, nor does it look like they're actually trying to. After taking that tier 1 tower, NoT Today's smoked up as a full 5. We're going to have a TP to the mid lane from the puck. There's a nice scan getting used there by Soggy Mitts. It's just spotting the rotation coming in from NoT Today with the smoke. Is a missed blink stun there from the Slaughter. He's going to get caught with an EMP on very, very low HP. In the mid lane, we had a 2-man chrono, but didn't result in anyone getting a kill, actually. I eat my words there. As the Phoenix goes down, we got 2 heroes on very, very low HP. It's the Vengeful Spirit and the Timbersaw, and now Sparky the Sharky's getting very low. This time, Slaughter doesn't miss his crush. He lands it on 2. That secures him the kill on the Axe and follows up with another kill on the Invoker. Slaughter going to try to run away. Zephyros in chase. Gonna try to go after him, but sprint activated. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like both the Skywrath Mage and the Timbersaw managed to get away safely. So it'll just be the 2-for-1. As once again, advantage for NoT Today ends up in about almost 700 gold swinging in their favor. And another big pickup for NoT Today is the Ursa Bear. Benjaz has just got enough gold for his Blink Dagger. Oh, he sold it. Okay. I was going to say, where the heck is it? He sold it because he was just going to be up at the side shop anyways. So might as well buy it there rather than eating up some time on the courier. But 2 big pickups for NoT Today with both those Blink Daggers. Even though we saw Slaughter miss his first Blink Crush, but his second one was pretty much on point. We'll take a quick look at Leo Styles up almost at Blink Dagger gold as well. As Matthew picks up a Hand of Midas. And we just have Nightmare sitting with just kind of his Tranquil Boots and his Windlace, but he's been doing a bunch of warding. So nothing too much to worry about there. Futsy's pretty much looking at around the same, just no Windlace, just the Tranquils. You look at God's Hand, he's got his Hand of Midas, and he's also got a Ring of Regen. Yun, he's got his Arcane Boots, Point Booster, and Soul Ring, so well on his way towards his Bloodstone. Sparky the Sharky, I was going to say, where's his Blink Dagger? There it is, it's flying in on the courier right now. So we got the Blink Initiate for Soggy Mitts, and who didn't we check? Zephyros, I think, was the last one we haven't covered. He picked up his Vlad's quite some time ago. He's already up to another 17, almost 1,800 gold. He's going to start working on his next item. And I believe that catches us up on items. And we'll just wait and see if we actually get a fight with these brand new items. As right now, it looks like NoT Today's in a pretty good position in this game. They've got Benjaz doing okay, 3-2-2 record. Not the best number to have, I guess, but he's in at 3-2-2, so he's had a decent start. Leo Style, his start's been okay, 1-2-6 right now. Important part is that he got his Blink Dagger. He's looking good in terms of net worth, and he's in a position where he can make plays, at least on the puck. On top of that, we've got the Timbersaw, who hasn't really had a great start. He hasn't snowballed out of control, but he might get a kill here on the Leo Style. Futzy comes in, drops the ultimate, silences him up, as Leo Style being very, very evasive. And oh my goodness, they need one more kill, one more attack. They're just going to get his head chopped off instead as Sparky the Sharky jumps in, chops him up. Futzy went down in the meantime as well, but definitely an advantage for Soggy Mitts. But when they see the announcement here, they're going to see, well, maybe it wasn't so much an advantage for us, because that also secured some space for Benjaz to get the kill on Roche and get an Aegis. And Benjaz looking at actually pushing this bottom tier 1 tower. Most of his teammates have rotated away. There is a Slaughter down here still. So they're going to look to jump in on someone. It's going to be Sparky the Sharky. But God's Hand going to drop the EMP, and that's that means get the hell out of there. But now he can't. He gets caught in a tornado. Yun timber chains on in. And suddenly there's 4 heroes down there in the bottom lane for Soggy Mitts. And they get the kill on that Slardar. Was maybe a little bit adventurous with his Blink Crush there. God's Hand about to finish his 4 staff. Still no Bloodstone completed, but Yun's very close for that. And Benjaz has picked up a Mithril Hammer. 1200, there's that Bloodstone. 1200 gold up on Leo style. Matthew. I guess he's picked up some Null Talisman since he picked up his Hand of Midas. And is probably working towards a Veil. Blink Dagger picked up by Zephyros. That's gonna further improve his ability to initiate and get those good chronos, which they might have to have because NoT today starting to push in the bottom lane. And nope, immediately ping comes out from Futzy. They want to go for the mid tier 1 instead. So we're gonna see another trade of towers here. Unless one of these teams choose to back, and it doesn't look like it's going to be Soggy Mitts. So the bottom tier 1 tower is dead. And the mid tier 1 about to go down, but the glyphs get used and a bunch of TPs come in. Dream Coil is going to land on 2 as it catches the Timbersaw and the Skywrath Mage as Futzy goes up onto the top ground, but high ground, but there's no way he was getting out of there. But everyone else on the side of Soggy Mitts did, so not the best thing in the world for them. They didn't get the trade in the tower and they lost a hero. $13 to $11 now. To bring up our gold graph, and this is a pretty damn good indicator of how close this game has been. It has never been more than a 2,000 gold lead for Soggy Mitts. And right now we're sitting at about 1,000. It's a little bit more than that now, but just over 1,000 gold lead for NoT today. Take a quick look at our XP, and it is pretty much the same story. Very close to even. In fact, it's a Soggy Mitts advantage by about 500, and that's going to change a little bit here as they've managed to get a pick off onto the Slardar. Sparky the Sharky getting the last hit. 13 to 12 now. And now Soggy Mitts going to go on the offensive. Zephyros will pick up the double damage. Tornado just caught Nightmare, but we're still a little bit too far to catch him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As the Venge will, well, try to meet up with the puck. But Leo style just blinks away, so Nightmare's once again by himself. They get that tier 1 tower, and still go back to kind of controlling the NoT today jungle. As I was talking about the Veil that Matthew was working on, and I think Nightmare just bought a Tome of Knowledge, and I think Matthew ate it. Supports helping supports, I guess. Yasha now picked up by Void. Zephyros. And completed his 4 staff, and we also had Leo style pick up his Yule Scepter. It's a BKB for Benjaz. That's where that Mithril Hammer belts into, which typically you like to see a BKB pick up delayed as much as possible. I'm not really sure if Benjaz had to rush it this early. I know it's typically picked up pretty early on Ursa in general, but I mean, I guess he's scared of some of the damage that the Skywrath Mage, the burst damage the Skywrath Mage can put out, and the Invoker. Maybe he did need to pick up the BKB, but still an early pickup though. So we'll have to keep track of his the number of charges he uses and see how long the duration he gets. So we got a 5-man smoke from Soggy Mitts as they venture across the river and take to the mid lane. Scan was just used by NoT today, and it's off the mark, and all Soggy Mitts just used it, and they scouted. NoT today as they're smoked up. Is Sparky the Shark is going to jump up? Chronosphere is just going to land on Matthew. Nice swap out from Nightmare, but the Phoenix is still going to go down. Nightmare looks like he's going to go down as well. Very, very low on HP. In fact, he is dead. Futsy's dead as well. As Zephyros gets caught in a Dream Coil, he's going to be able to blink away. And he's going to end up right next to Leo Style, who now blinks the other way. And then he Yule Scepters to face his Void. And we got a little bit of a battle here. Zephyros gets one bash proc. He's going to try to chase after him. God's Hand on low HP is going to TP out. As the Slaughter are getting very low, but Benja is able to finish off that kill onto the Axes. Benja is so low in HP, but Yun not able to finish it, but he is able to finish the kill onto the Slaughter. We jumped away from the battle between the Puck and the Faceless Void, and Puck managed to win out on that one. And Yun was just starting to TP away, and Leo Style toss him up in the air with the Yule Scepter, but it just cost Leo Style his life. Nightmare not able to do anything to stop Yun there. There's a flurry of action between these two teams. Show fight recap, absolutely useless for us, as it never seems to help when we want in those long drawn out fights. But man, how many deaths did we have? We had 4 dead on NoT today, that's for sure. The Axe, Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage died, and we saw God's Hand TP away, so yeah, it was a 4 for 3 in favor of Soggy Mitts in that engage, which yeah, evens us up at 16 kills apiece, 24 minutes into this one. But a really kind of weird engage. We had that smoke from Soggy Mitts making their way down into the Radiant jungle. Right at the same time, we had NoT today smoke up as 5 down here, and they were starting to rotate up as well. And if it wasn't for a nice scan by Soggy Mitts right in this region, and just caught one of them, I don't think anyone would have been prepared to all of a sudden run into the enemy team. Of course, with the scan catching it, you don't know how many heroes are there, but you know there's at least one. I think they maybe were a little bit surprised when they walked up onto the high ground. Suddenly everyone was there from NoT today, but they were certainly ready to run into at least one hero. So they were not completely caught off guard. Yeah, it ended up in basically a bunch of heroes blinking all over the place. It only ended up in a one-man Chronosphere, which the focus was on the Phoenix, who was caught inside that. But it was a nice swap from Nightmare. But eventually Matthew did go down, and then Nightmare went down shortly after as well. So unfortunately, we're not really able to save his Phoenix brother there. He just gets deleted from the game by Benjaz. That Ursa just chews through heroes. I mentioned that in the draft. Just Ursa being able to jump on some of the heroes from Soggy Mitts can be very, very scary. Looks like NoT today is going to go for this tier 2 tower. It's down to half HP already. Not sure if Soggy Mitts is going to give this one up for free. Zephyro blinks on in. Going to get it. Chronosphere, he was going for 3, ends up just catching 2. We're going to get a buyback from Futsy as they get the kill onto Leo Style. Matthew, Icarus dives away, but doesn't cancel. It ends up swooping all the way back in. And we have a dead Phoenix. And we might have a dead Slaughter as the Merman tries to run, but he's not getting anywhere. Benjez now with a little bit of a short-range blink, but I think he should be fine to get out of here. A nice bit of play there from Soggy Mitts. Good pick off. Zephyros was basically completely by himself and just jumps on in. Basically afraid of nothing. And throws out a Chronosphere. Like I said, he caught 2, was going for 3, but he caught 2. Caught the important 2 anyways. And that allowed them to get some kills. We even saw a buyback there from Futzy to get down there and assist in the team. And getting those 3 kills has secured the Maroche, which obviously is great in any game. But when you think of this game and the heroes that NoT today has, the Ursa primarily, getting that Roche and the Aegis off the board is very, very important. They're going to put the Aegis on God's Hand, so the Invoker's going to have a second life, and looks like he's got an Aghanim Scepter as well. Just needs to deliver his items. Oh, Matthew. I'm going to pause the game as Benjaz disconnects. But that'll give us time to bring up our items here so you guys can quickly cycle through those as I take a quick sip of water. I guess one thing to note is that we've got Diffusal Blade. picked up by Benjess, sitting in his stash right now. And Armlet. Oh, that's actually a recent pickup. It's pretty late to have Blink Armlet for the Slargar. He hasn't really had the greatest of games. Yeah, that's a fresh Armlet. I was thinking maybe I just missed it, but no, it's pretty much just picked that up. What else do we got? How many charges do we have on our Bloodstone? Sitting at 20 charges right now. He's got his Blink Dagger as well, and looks like Yule Scepter about completed. We mentioned God's Hand about to complete his Aghanim Scepter. Rocky the Sharky has his 4-staff. We mentioned the Yasha as well for Zephyros, who's just under 2,000 gold. So I believe was it this one? Yeah, this one shows us our current gold. So yeah, Leo Style up around 1,900 gold, so his next item going to be coming out shortly, and then Zephyros also at 2,000. Yes, there we go. We get to resume as everyone's good and ready. Because this one still very much feels like anyone's game. It's like I said, very, very even, and it's been very even for the duration. As we'll take a quick look at our gold graph. And like I said, it's never been more than a 2,000 gold lead for anyone in this game. As Soggy Mit's now ahead, but not by a lot. Just well, it just passes over the 2,000 mark as I say that. And as for XP, it's a little bit more in their favor, just past the 5,000 XP mark. But still, XP's not the most important right now. XP is pretty important for the Vengeful Spirit, though. You'd really like to see level 2 swap. That's where you get a little bit of extra range. Allows you to do a little bit more of a swap. But it's not the end of the world. And of course, Slargar, you like to see him getting some levels, because getting the levels on amp damage is pretty important. But he's still a long way out from level 16.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Like we got NoT today starting to push in the top lane, going to pressure this tier 2 tower as Soggy Mit's doing the exact opposite in the bottom lane as they're pushing the tier 2 down here. Are we going to see another tower trade? Matthews down here. Well, look at this. All the heroes from NoT today going to TP back. They're going to look to fight here. And Soggy Mit's are actually just in 4-man strength. They've got Zephyros doing a little bit of farming in the jungle as his Manta flies in on the courier and delivers. But here he starts rotating down. There's the tower starting to get pretty low. In fact, just going to go down. So NoT today all comes back and defends there. Just leave their puck up there, but not really able to get that tier 2 tower down low enough to get the full trade. I guess NoT today a little bit indecisive there whether they wanted to take that fight or not. But part of it, I think, with Soggy Mit's was actually positioned really well around that tower. And especially with the Faceless Void and NoT today having no idea what that Faceless Void was, it makes the initiation that much harder. Because it's so easy for NoT today to charge at Soggy Mit's and immediately Faceless Void blinks on in, and you got a big Chronosphere, and suddenly NoT today is... well, they're all dead at that point. So I was a little bit surprised that NoT today even came back trying to defend that. But maybe they were going to go for the surprise factor. But if they wanted to do that, they had to all TP back and then pretty much immediately rush at Soggy Mit's. But even still, it's pretty risky. I think it might have actually worked because we had Zephyros actually farming this camp and waiting for the courier. So maybe there was an opportunity there, but that's really a tough one to call because they didn't have any vision. They didn't have any idea where that Faceless Void was. Yun hiding in the trees is Soggy Mit's. Once again, good positioning, got Faceless Void up on the pillar as they prepare to go for a tier 2 push. This Yun's going to jump out of those trees. This Observer Ward, which honestly I still hate the fact that you can place Observer Wards in those locations that are essentially outside the map. But anyways, it's seeing a lot of what Soggy Mit's are doing as they position themselves for this tier 2. Not today. Gonna look to maybe defend here. They're staying well back though. Here comes the creep wave. Maybe this is the time that they're gonna go. Nope, they send Leo style to mid. They start rotating some other heroes away. So that's twice now that Soggy mitts have gone for a push on a tier 2 tower, and Not Today just kind of stood around essentially doing nothing while they all watched Soggy mitts take their tower. So definitely some indecision and maybe not the greatest of shot calling in those moments from Not Today. But really, that's just a little bit of efficiency. It's something that you could easily just kind of clean up and kind of improve your position in the game, but it's also not the end of the world either. Sparky the Sharky sits in Viz and he's going to find Leo style. He's going to get the taunt off onto the puck, and oh my goodness. With the blink daggers and the force staffs and everything, all of a sudden Soggy mitts just... It was just an axe there, and all of a sudden everyone just comes blinking on in. Yun's picked up a plate mail. He's also holding on to a gem, which I believe Futsy purchased. Vanguard on Sparky the Sharky is he's going to be going for a crimson guard. Zephyros jumping forward, trying to see if he can find anything there, but Not Today. Playing it smart. They're taking to their high ground as once again they're going to sit and wait. Just have a few back. Matthew's still up in the top lane as Slara goes for the blink crush. Gonna miss. He's gonna get caught in a chrono. Nightmare there, unfortunately sacrificing himself to keep the Slaughter alive. But tier 2 towers down is once again. That was the third time now that Not Today essentially sat and did nothing. They did manage to get the top tier 2 tower. That axe is way off the mark, but it's okay. And now Yun completes his boots of travel. Still just sitting with that plate mail. Expect him to upgrade that shortly. Benjaz still 9 seconds on his BKB. What the heck? 5,300 gold for Leo style. Buy something. He's just gonna buy a full sheep stick? Is that even what he's gonna go for? Oh no, why is he saving that much gold? That's a lot of gold. Anyway, we're gonna have a big smoke here. Not Today, as they're gonna move out on the map, but at the same time, Soggy mitts doing exactly the same thing. We just had Zephyros pick up a Diffusal Blade. Crimson Guard completed by Sparky the Sharky. And it looks like Slaughter's working towards probably a BKB. And yeah, Leo style buys the sheep stick. Oh, completely missed that Matthew got picked there. As he goes down and Nightmare gets caught in a Chronosphere as well. So 2 dead on the side of Not Today, and respawn of Roche coming up in 10 seconds as well. Pretty much perfect timing for Soggy mitts. They're going to back and check the Roche pit. And Futsy, is he going to get there too early? Oh, just in time. It's almost like he summoned Roche there. A little ridiculous, but perfect timing there for the boys of Soggy mitts. And I'm going to start working on Roche. And Not Today's coming. Only coming 3 strong right now. It's going to be 4 as the Vengeful Spirit respawns. There's still 12 seconds before Matthew's going to be up. Futsy doing a little bit of counter warding as Zephyros and God's Hand still continue to work on Roche. Orb's gonna fly in from Leo style as God's Hand jumps up onto the cliff. They're playing this very, very safely, and they're just gonna try to back away, but they found the Invoker up on the top lane, and God's Hand is dead to start a this fight off. Green coil on twos. Futzy and Zephyros get caught in that. Zephyros going to jump onto the Slaughter, not going to be able to find the kill there as he gets tossed up in the air from the Yule Scepter. One dead on either side as the Vengeful Spirit has taken a fall for NoT today. Sparky the Sharky going to TP away. Leo Style going to go after Futzy. This is a crazy fight as the Phoenix drops into the egg and Zephyros tries to attack it a few times, realizing that's not going to happen, and he ends up just dying anyways. As Benjaz starts working on Roche, and it is going to be Roche for NoT today. And miss Leo Style picking off Futzy. But now he's also caught Yun with that sheep stick as the Timber Saw down below half HP, going to try to run. Sparky the Sharky comes in, ends up just blinking back towards his base. Yun didn't really need too much help in the end. But wow, it looked like it was a really great shot call there from Soggy Mitts to get those 2 kills and immediately drop back to Roche. It looked like the timing was perfect for them, but they were maybe a little too hesitant to really commit to that Roche and have a bunch of heroes attacking it. They were just kind of 2 in the pit, 2 hitting Roche, everyone else kind of controlling the space around Roche. But then NoT today, they weren't really that scared at all. They just came running on in, and Soggy Mitts, well, the bad part for them was that God's Hand actually blinked up onto the cliff. He blinked up in this little location, and unfortunately, NoT today knew exactly where he was, and they blinked their Slaughter up there, and with the Invoker dead at the start of the fight, that was a huge advantage for NoT today. And then it just became this really weird fight, where it was really kind of sloppy and scattered, and everyone was all over the place. It ended up working out well for NoT today. They got the Roche, they got the Aegis on the Ursa Bear, and they're in a much better position than they were just a few minutes ago. As we got a brief little pause here as Yun has unfortunately disconnected from the game. But we'll take a quick look at Benjaz. His BKB's down to 8 seconds, and he's just completed his heart. Leo Style, of course, we saw him pick up that Scythe of Vice, the sheep stick, which I'm not too sure how much work it did in the last fight. We saw it get used on Yun towards the end. I have no idea who he used it on in the fight at Roche, but I imagine it was used around the time where they got that kill on the Invoker. Probably not on the Invoker, probably on someone else. But once again, not exactly sure. Didn't see it. Yeah, there's some pings coming out from Leo Style as he's pinging down around Roche, and at the same time Zephyros pinging in the mid lane. So what I get from that is I think NoT today's maybe going over the fight that just happened, or maybe talking about vision around Roche. And Soggy Mitts with the ping on the tier 3 tower are indicating that we probably think that they're going to start pushing down the mid lane, in which case I'm guessing that the call for them was don't defend the tier 2, we'll defend the tier 3 if they try to go high ground. We'll see if that's how it plays out, but well, Leo Styles got a different plan. He draws on the map that maybe we should swoop up from mid lane and go for some heroes from Soggy Mitts in the top lane as Futzy goes and places an aggressive observer ward as Leo Style jumps forward. He's for the most part by himself. There is some other heroes close by. We also have Sparky the Sharky pushing the bottom lane TPs out. There was a TP response coming in from, I think that was Leo Style. I'm not sure exactly who canceled it. But Zephyros drops down the Chronosphere. Unfortunately, it won't land on Benjaz. He was able to get a bunch of damage off, but he pops a BKB, and now he's on the run as he's down to half HP. God's Hand tosses the deafening blast, but it won't actually hit anything. Nightmare first to fall in the fight. As Dream Coil comes in, Futzy drops as well, so support down for either side. Sparky the Sharky is getting very low. In fact, he is dead as the Rebirth comes out from the Phoenix. As the egg pops, does a good amount of damage, but doesn't look like we're going to get another kill here. So just the 2 supports from Soggy Mitts that go down, and 1 support from NoT today. No cores falling. But it did cost Benjaz a charge of his BKB. which isn't something to kind of overlook. Those early BKB charges are very, very important on the Ursa. But the mid-tier 2 tower goes down, and not today. No, not going to push the tier 3s. They're just going to back. Only 2 minutes left on the Aegis. So they'll look to maybe try and force something within the next 2 minutes and make use of that. Or maybe they'll just use it to kind of safely farm, knowing that Soggy Mets probably aren't going to go for anything too aggressive fighting into an Aegis. But we'll see how NoT today chooses to play it. Boot to Travel just gets finished by Benjaz. And it looks like he's going to drop his phase, or sell his phase. There we go. Aether Lens, yep. So Aether Lens about to be completed by Nightmare. We still have the cheese on the Slaughter. His BKB's down to 9 seconds. But Zephyros up to 1,200 gold. Sparky the Sharky just doing a little bit of scouting with that invis. Not really going to find anything. God's Hand has a Mystic Staff and 3,100 gold, so he's going to be picking up something shortly. I imagine it's going to be a sheep stick for him as well. Scan's going to find that there's more heroes from Soggy Mets in the jungle. And we just had Yun pick up Bashiba's guard, still holding on to the gem and still at 26 Bloodstone charges. As NoT today arrives in the bottom lane in full force, and Soggy Mets just says, nope. We don't want to take this fight right now. They just TP back and defend some other lanes. Man, this is a close game to start off our night of cast here for the open qualifiers. Look at that. We're so close to 0. And even on net worth. XP's actually pretty close as well. 2,500 lead for NoT today on XP. Gold is under 2,500 for NoT today. Very, very close. This is just the round of 16. Still best of ones. Matthew actually gets to hold on to a Quelling Blade. As he passes his hand of Midas onto the courier. I guess just for some fast dewarding with the gem. Farming in the bottom lane. The pings have come out from NoT today, and oh, Benjaz jumps in, doesn't find Yun though, and Yun escapes. I think Benjaz could have actually been a little bit more patient there. Looks like neither team really want to commit to a full fight yet, as it's obvious that Soggy Mets are starting to kind of grouped up in the bottom lane, and now NoT today kind of swings away from them. And Leo's style does a little bit of split pushing. This is pretty much the exact same thing that we just saw Soggy Mets doing with the Timbersaw in the bottom lane. Still a bit before we're going to have another Roach. Quickly bring up our items so you guys can see if we've missed anything. Basher, I'm not sure if I pointed that out. For the Ursa. And Aether Lens picked up by Leo Style. I think I did point that one out. Beyond that, I don't think anything new. The Echo Saber, I saw it pop up. I might not have mentioned it. About a minute or two ago, we finished that. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned the Shiva's Guard and the Sight Device. Or God's Hand. So now we just kind of sit and wait for our next team fight, and that's probably going to center around Roche, and we're going to find out very shortly how long before we're actually going to have a Roche respawn. Oh, it's going to be a fast one, 15 seconds. Oh, we're going to have an engage in the bottom. This is a huge time in the game, as Soggy Mitts are actually going to lose their axe to start everything off, and Zephyros now taking a lot of damage. He's going to time walk off to the left-hand side. God's Hand has also been deleted by the Slardar as he continues to do work. I missed the kill on the Faceless Void there from Benjaz. We have 3 heroes dead on the side of Soggy Mitts, and this was a very crucial team fight because Roche, where are you? There he is. I don't know why he wasn't in the pit, but Roche just respawned. That tier 2 tower goes down, and NoT today's actually not going to go back for Roche yet. They're going to go for a set of racks here, but the buybacks start coming out as Soggy Mitts buys back on their Invoker. God's Hand wants to join in on the fight. The other 2 heroes not available to buy back as Slardar goes down to start everything off. Phoenix drops into his little egg. Will they be able to right click it down in time? The answer is no. As Yun now gets focused down, Gem on the ground. Will Nightmare be able to pick it up? The pings are coming out, and Leo Style is going to jump in and pick it up instead. And NoT today will back away. But we're just going to back to Roche then. There's 4 heroes left alive on Soggy Mitts. It would be a 4 versus 4, and they're starting to head down here. And NoT today not going to risk it, as they're going to leave the Roche pit and back away. And Soggy Mitts just checks on Roche, but they're not going to go for that either. And now NoT today checks on Roche. I said our next fight was going to center around Roche. It happened a little bit earlier than expected. But now, oh, we got some blink daggers into Roche, but this is a risky play from Soggy Mitts, but they're going to go for it. Roche down to half HP. The pings are coming out. They want to engage on Sparky the Sharky, and NoT today is going to lead this with a kill on the axe as Roche down very low HP. Chronosphere is going to land on too. They're trying to focus down Benjaz, a nice swap out from Nightmare, and instead they just switch and go to Leo Style instead. It's a dead puck. But Skywrath Mage has just fallen as well. 2 dead on the side of Soggy Mitts, 1 dead on the side of NoT today. As Benjaz will turn and go onto God's Hand, and that Invoker dies so fast to the Ursa, it's unbelievable. And 3 dead on the side of Soggy Mitts. NoT today goes into the Roche pit. They've got 1 hero advantage. They got amplified damage with their Slardar, and Ursa does so much damage as it is. They chew through Roche's HP very quickly. They actually give the Aegis to the Phoenix. So Matthew's going to have a second life, and we've got 2 cheeses for the Slardar, as Yun unfortunately DCs once again. So we're going to get another pause, and that gives me a second to have another drink of water. So I'll do that, and once again bring up the items for you guys. But man, this has been a crazy close, I wanted to say back and forth game, but I don't know if it's really been so much back and forth. We haven't had these huge swings. Everything's actually just been close. All of our team fights have been 2 for 3, 3 for 2, something around that. It's been very close. And I'd say the last 2 fights have been looking a little bit more in favor of NoT today. I'd say they're probably in the better position in this game right now, as it's 2 fights now where God's Hand has just been deleted so quickly, and it's not that he's really making any big misplays. It's just the fights are starting in a kind of a weird situation. And it was actually looking okay for Soggy Mitts. They managed to get a kill on Leo Style to start everything off. So they got rid of the puck. The problem is then after that, then it was actually the Ursa who was able to get on the Invoker, and getting rid of the Invoker very quickly as well. Almost kind of evened everything up at that point. We resumed. And will NoT today try to push high ground. They're about to actually be down a man. And those two respawns coming in from Soggy Mets is both the Axe and the Skywrath Mage respawn. Again, this throws out the shock round, trying to wipe out the creep wave. Have to leave it there for a little bit. And not today, just backs away. 29 to 28 the hero kills. I didn't even notice that. Oh, someone's got a mic issue. Apparently we're good to go. Yeah, 29 to 28, 48 minutes into this. TI6 round of 16. America's qualifiers. Still got a lot of games to go tonight. Nightmare meets up with his team. Oh, the pings have come out on his Zephyros. So are they going to be able to jump on him? The answer is yes. They leave with the crush. Oh, the damage, the Ursa. Oh my goodness. Zephyros going to immediately buy back. Yun goes in and dies though. He won't be able to buy back, but he's going to respawn in 25 seconds thanks to all his Bloodstone charges. They're now down to 12. But this Ursa is just kind of getting out of control. The burst damage from him jumping in and getting on a target is just so much. So now what NoT today is really wanting to look for is, if they can, they would love to get a pick off on the Faceless Void. They just managed to force out a buyback from him. They'd love to get another. If they can get another kill on him, it's probably going to secure Roche and all. 4,200 net worth on that career. Didn't see exactly what was on it. Well, I've got it selected. Of course I do. But it's a full Aghanim Scepter for Yun. But nice, pretty big snipe on that career for NoT today. About 2.5 minutes from now, Soggy Mitts will actually be able to get that item. That's a lot of gold that they're not able to have access to in probably our next fight. The question is, will NoT today be able to force a fight before then? Any fight now is still pretty risky as AC gets completed by Slardar. Switch actually over to buybacks and see who's got buybacks. Actually, no one on the side of Soggy Mitts has buybacks right now. That's scary. We're still on buyback, on cooldown for 1.5 minutes as well. Doesn't even have enough gold right now. That's huge, and I'm sure NoT today knows the timer on that buyback as well for the Invoker. Certainly they know that the Faceless Void's still on cooldown. As the tier 3 tower in the bottom lane goes down, EMP will get dodged by Benjaz. As he's going to start working on the melee rack. Sparky the Sharky going to jump in with the taunt. Zephyros jumps in with the Chrono. It's just going to catch Matthew. But Benjaz starting to get focused down, drops down to half HP, pops his BKB. Matthew now is the focus target for Soggy Mitts, but oh my goodness, Zephyros gets deleted by the Ursa Bear. As Benjaz is just... He's still crazy right now. As now NoT today in a very prime position on these racks. Nice swap there from Nightmare leads to them getting a kill on Sparky the Sharky as Futzy goes down as well. And we're going to have a respawn from Matthew as NoT today looks like they're in a prime position to take this one. 3 dead on the side of Soggy Mitts, 0 dead on the side of NoT today. They take the bottom set of racks, they move towards the mid lane and go for the tier 3 tower. Oh, Yun gets a kill as he drops the Slardar. Maybe there is a little bit of life still left in Soggy Mitts as Yun tosses himself up in the air by the Yule Scepter, but not able to blink away. As he gets stunned to death by Benjaz's Basher. Benjaz actually now picks up a Vanguard, which I imagine is going to build towards an Abyssal. This buyback from the Slardar, there's still no buybacks available for Soggy Mitts. As actually God's Hand has buyback available, but he's the only one left alive as the mid racks go down, and now NoT today starts working on the top lane. Tier 3 is about to fall. God's hand. Well, not much he can do. Futzy has respawned. Oh, swap from Nightmare. God's hand is in trouble. And he's dead, and that might be the end of Soggy Mitts. Buyback from the Invoker. 3 left trying to defend here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Benjaz is going to go after Sparky the Sharky, who gets caught by a Dream Coil. But Benjaz just actually switches off of him, goes for the kill on the Invoker. He gets that, then he turns back and gets the kill on the Axe. As this looks like it's the end. Top set of Rex, down Mega Creeps for NoT today. Chronosphere is actually going to land on 3. It's going to keep Yun alive for a little bit longer. Focus target's going to be Leo Style, but they're not even able to get that as my voice just gives out in the middle of that sentence. Leo Style eventually goes down, and Soggy Mitts getting some kills here with the Stragglers for NoT today as they kill the Slardar as well, and oh no, not today. Those 3 heroes don't have buyback. If there's any chance of Soggy Mitts coming back in this one, it's, I guess, to try and march down mid and punish NoT today with some structures. I don't think they'd be able to end the game right now, but maybe if they get a couple pickoffs, it's possible. They're going to have 4 heroes up in 10 seconds with the Axe, and that's just going to give them about a 15-second window before the Phoenix is back up. But unfortunately, right now, they're just doing a little bit of maintenance on the map with getting rid of these creep waves. It's so hard to push against Mega Creeps as it is. They're trying to prepare the lane so that they can actually push and go for, I guess, a YOLO push into NoT today's base. Zephyros. So he has 1,800 reliable gold. So he doesn't actually have enough. I was thinking maybe Boots of Travel, because his buyback is going to be up in about a minute. So he essentially will have another life for them, but he needs Boots of Travels to be able to do so. We're going to have all the heroes up from NoT today here. 8 seconds before Slardar is. The Dagon comes out from Leo Styles. Here's our big engage. Chronosphere is going to land on 3. As Zephyros tries to focus down a target, he's going to get Nightmare. But that's unfortunately going to cost him his life shortly after that Chronosphere ended. As Sparky the Sharky is going to go down as well. This is a crazy end to this game. As Yun gets tossed up in the air, but Futzy goes down as well. He's going to immediately buy back in the game. Yun going to get hit by that Dagon and stunned up as he's going to buy back into the game as both him and Futzy going to try to desperately defend the base. God's Hand just running back in his QQ walk, in the Ghost Walk to defend, but here comes NoT today as well as they charge down the mid lane looking to end this game and move to the round of 8. It's already Mega Creeps for NoT today, and you know, hats off to Soggy Mitts for not tapping out of this one. Still got a little bit of fight left in them, and Zephyros going to buy back, and now NoT today aren't too sure if they want to go for this. Definitely hesitating here. They've only got 4 heroes up. The Vengeful Spirit respawn timer is in line with the Axe, but the Axe is going to be right. The fight's going to be right at Axe's base, so it's going to be an advantage for Soggy Mitts for a little bit before the Vengeful Spirit's going to be able to get there. And NoT today's just going to back away. They're going to play it safe. Or are they going to go for Roche? This is actually really risky. Here comes Soggy Mitts. Oh, if they're able to get a pick off here, there's a chance. Meatball comes out from God's Hand as he pushes Benjaz and the Slaughter into the Roche pit, and Chronosphere is going to trap both of them. Both their BKBs were activated. As Slaughter is going to be the focus target, hopefully be able to bring him down. He's getting close and he's dead. Benjaz still on full HP. He just wipes out Sparky the Sharky. Now he goes for God's Hand as he goes down as well. Zephyros tries to time walk away, but he gets bursted down by the Dagon, and that might be the end of Soggy Mitts as Nightmare actually swaps himself onto the cliff, mainly to swapping one of his teammates down off of it. But this is a tough order for Yun to try and defend here. As Mega Creeps and 4 heroes from NoT today. This looks like it's the end of the line for Soggy Mitts. I know I've said that a few times already this game. Yun gonna do his best to try and defend here. but I feel like it's only a matter of time. The Ancient about to go down. GG, well played. Beat Mike and Ritsu for me, says Zipperos. Oops. I can't type apparently. GG, well played. I was talking to both teams in the lobby, but that was a great match to start tonight. Like I said, a lot of back and forth action.